In the City, it was composed by Joe Walsh.
David Holder was the editor. Starts off with talking about the Bronx. There's the mimes. The Bronx is where they mail my checks after they robbed me in Brooklyn back in 2001. Thanks a lot, I appreciate that. Guy called me later on and told me, hey, BITCH, I got your wallet. Anyway, Walter Hill is the director, and even Scorsese has taken from this film, from Gangs of New York. But it's all about these different gangs throughout New York, from Bronx, Brooklyn, all 5 boroughs. There's all these different gangs. 60,000 these soldiers all meet to listen to Cyrus say, "Can you dig it?" And it's very similar to, you ever seen this other movie by John Carpenter, known Escape from New York? But it's got this whole, like, rhythmic feel through the entire movie. It's brilliant. There's even a mime gang, you know, the art of silence. But you guys, what do you think about it so far?
It's good.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Gangs of New York is great too, which is Martin Scorsese, but this is Walter Hill, which came way before Gangs of New York. They're showing it for free right now on YouTube. Okay, the Warriors have been set up, and they have to run back to the turf. And all the gangs are after the Warriors because they blamed them for shooting Cyrus. Get it?
I get it, because Cyrus was the president.
Of all the gangs, right. So they were blamed when it was that group that did it. There's another one, they were accused. It has kind of an evangelical message, you gotta watch it. I know it's kind of weird, but they're being persecuted and they have to kind of run.
Oh, one of them killed Cyrus?
Yes, he did.
Oh.
The one that looks like Sean Penn. That one right there. He was the one that got him.
Gotcha.
All right?
Right. Understood.
Okay. It's very Gangs of New York, Scorsese style. Walter Hill is the director here. So they're after them too because of the accusation.
Yeah.
So he's like the leader, and they're running.
I'm trying to think of which one died.
Oh, he got hit. That's the Yankee gang,
So
kind
they're
of.
missing 3 people, the girl, then the other dude. I think
Right.
there was nine in their gang. And then they're missing 3 more warriors, I think,
Right.
and the girl.
One bit it in the subway, wrestling with the gang Blue, and now that they're chasing them, the famous segment's coming up. Warriors, come out and play.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Alumni of UNT, known as Don Henley.
Cemetery.
Well, get the cliff notes. Send an email to Walter Hill. Now, I want you to look at this. See how that goes down and it turns this way on the editor? That's known as an L cut. Why? Because the sound goes into the other clip, just like an L. Now watch where the sound is over here on the editor. What is that over there? That looks like a J, because the sound comes in before the clip. So when you hear the next clip first, then you're hearing what's known as a J cut. an L cut, the sound that goes into the other
Sounds good.
clip. Right.
Awesome. Thanks
because
for the lesson.
it's more alive. Then we're talking about J cuts and L cuts. Now, a long time ago, the dissolve was when the camera would go out of focus. And then they would move somewhere else and they set the camera again, and then they would go back into focus. And that was known as a dissolve. The slang now is what is a mix, but they call it a dissolve. Why? Why do they call it a dissolve? Because it's similar.
Okay.
But it's a mixed dissolve is what you could call it.
Oh, okay.
But Apple calls it a dissolve. You could do a 0.5 dissolve, a 1 dissolve, or a 2-second dissolve. Kubrick would do very long dissolves. Do you know who Kubrick is? Stanley Kubrick?
No, I don't. Please tell me.
Have you ever heard of Jack Nicholson?
Yes.
Okay, have you ever heard of The Shining?
Yes.
And Shelley Duvall?
Yes.
She lives in Texas, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Shelley Duvall was in a movie called The Shining.
Okay.
And Kubrick was the master of dissolve, or as you say, mix. But it's still dissolve. We're going to call it dissolve because Apple's calling it dissolve. And Apple has more money than you. So we call it dissolve because Apple calls it dissolve. Give me 5.
And let's dissolve, please.
No, we're not going to dissolve here. We'll most likely cut to a J cut, or I'll just make that annoying noise that Jordan the Lion makes when he does that click. And what is that? It's called a signature piece. Whenever it clicks and you hear the noise when it clicks, Jordan the Lion does that. Why? Because it's signature. Also, Jordan the Lion has a little tiny thing at the very bottom. You ever watch his vlog? There's a little thing at the bottom. Why? Because that's his little watermark that belongs to Jordan the Lion. Everybody has their own style. Everybody does stuff differently. I do it all. I'm like Bruce Lee. It's like water. You know what water is? Water takes the shape of everything.
Okay.
Because secretly you could be a shapeshifter. She's not really, but in the story, because you're based on Rainy Love, you know what a shapeshifter is?
No, please tell me.
Okay, I knew you wanted to know. A shapeshifter is kind of another word for werewolf.
Oh, okay.
There's also skinwalker.
Okay.
But a shapeshifter takes on different shapes. It comes from that same kind of curse. But we'll talk about that later. There's a lot of vernacular when it comes to filmmaking. Okay. So you got that?
Yes, thank
okay,
you.
and who's Alfred Hitchcock?
My deceased ex-husband.
No. Alfred Hitchcock was a Catholic. I'm not Alfred Hitchcock. I do respect him. He made Vertigo, which is right over there. Vertigo, if they say anything, it's about a woman that has a blonde hair. Okay. Just say, oh, I loved it. I loved her blonde hair and that. And don't say anything else. Be really quiet.
I love her blonde.
Yes. Now, Bernard Herrmann was a composer that worked with Alfred Hitchcock. He's passed away. But he also worked with a guy named Martin Scorsese. Who's Scorsese? He's also Catholic. But who's Scorsese?
Please tell me.
He wrote Gangs of New York and also Taxi Driver, one of my favorite movies. Taxi Driver uses all these elements. Okay, one last thing that you need to know. And I mentioned Kubrick. Kubrick also made Lolita. It was one of his first films. You might need to know that one too. Just saying, getting you ready for dinner parties. Boy, my DVD thing needs to be reorganized.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a good one. If you're at a party, let's see someone ask, someone says a joke like this. Yeah.
Spit in my face.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, I'm Protestant. Okay, shh. This is a joke. Okay. This would be like at a party, okay? Yeah. That would be like asking David Lynch to sit and watch a whole version of his movie Dune. Would that be funny? You
Yes,
laugh.
it'd be funny.
You laugh at that.
What kind of parties do you go to?
Because the new Dune is good.
Oh, okay.
The new Dune. Here, let me get Dune real quick so we can make this joke again. Okay.
So that is David Lynch's movie, or is it?
No, he doesn't like it.
Oh, he
He didn't get the full cut on. The studios did. It's called Dune. It's the original with Cal MacLachlan.
Okay.
It's a really good David Lynch movie. But if you're at a party and someone says something like, "Oh yeah," that would be like watching David Lynch's expression as they played an old version of Dune. And he still has the barcode on it because I could resell it. But
Dune.
So that is David Lynch's movie.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's a sci-fi made by David Lynch.
Oh, okay.
They remade it recently and made it really good, but
Okay.
you would know that was funny because you know that David Lynch does not like his version of Dune.
Okay.
He likes it, but he didn't get full cut on it.
Okay.
What's full cut mean? He calls it final cut. It's also called final cut means that you got all the rights. It ended the way that he wanted to.
Right.
Now, you have to also say something like, oh yeah, but he would enjoy Eraserhead, and then everyone would get quiet because Eraserhead's a really good movie, right? Especially if you're at a dinner party.
Correct.
You would like Eraserhead, right?
Yes.
Okay, don't say that you wouldn't like it. Now, Kubrick showed Eraserhead to his cast members at the hotel when he was making The Shining to scare them, okay? To let them know that they're not going to be in Eraserhead, that they were going to be in The Shining with Kubrick. And Jack Nicholson upped his game big time after that, okay?
Okay.
You got to see Eraserhead.
Okay,
but,
sounds good.
No, Dune was made by David Lynch. But it's the only Lynch movie I own other than Twin Peaks Return, which I own on streaming. Okay. Now, let's say we were at a party, and just real quick, and Jim Jarmusch was, and then listen, Richard Linklater comes in calling Jim Jarmusch. Do not call him Jim Jarmusch. So if Richard Linklater comes in, he's Jim Jarmusch, okay? He's a punk rock director. He's better than all of them. Well, not better than Lynch, but he's good. So if Jim Jarmusch shows up, he's got like punk rock hair, looks like Billy Idol. It's really big, kind of talks like this. Like, man, when we were making, Permanent Vacation. You got to know Permanent Vacation. He's going to talk like, you're going to understand Jim Jarmusch when he talks. You call him Jim Jarmusch when I'm around. If Richard Linklater walks in, just call him Jim Jarmusch. He'll respect you and get some funding that way. Because, Richard Linklater is actually Richard Linklater, but he's in Austin. Now, one last thing about Jim Jarmusch is he appreciates David Lynch's Twin Peaks Return. He likes it. So is David Lynch's Twin Peaks Return good? Is it better than the original? It's a masterpiece. And it's also like a movie. Okay, it's cinematic. It's not cable, it's movie. Now, I've met David Lynch. He's a good guy. Okay. But just one thing, to prepare you, he does talk a little like this, and he says that everything's scripted. Now, is Inland Empire scripted? Because I've seen the version of it. Don't shake like that, because it's what Shelley Duvall did in The Shining, and she got in trouble by Kubrick for doing that. She was like, he was like, Shelley, don't jerk like that. It doesn't work. Okay. Now,
sorry, I was listening.
They're all geniuses. One more thing.
One more thing, and that's it. Seriously, sorry, y'all.
What was I talking about?
It's like 4 o'clock in the morning.
I was talking about Kubrick. I was talking about Lynch. Okay. If Lynch is in the room and he'll sit there and he'll think with his hand, don't say anything about it. Just let him do it. He'll sit there and he'll go, Cole, everything is scripted. Everything. Now, there's a rumor that Inland Empire was actually not scripted. So, to me, it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. I still want to see the script. It probably was scripted. He said it was scripted. I wanted to know if it was scripted. But we know, according to David Lynch, it's all scripted. Okay? So just play along. So we know Inland Empire was scripted. Laura Dern will shake her head like that. All that kind of stuff, okay? So this could happen. I doubt all those are going to be in the same room. Maybe the ghost of James Dean will arrive. Something like that. Now, if Jennifer Lawrence is there, watch out, because she'll trip and she can knock you over. So just keep your distance, okay? Now, if it's me and Bradley, no, we're not going to do UFC fighting. But if Wahlberg shows up, just say that you like Wahlberg hamburgers. Okay?
Right, of course.
If Will Ferrell shows up, the Will Ferrell one, say that you don't like him.
Right.
Because he's the one that made fun of James Lipton, who was my dean.
Right.
Okay? If Will Ferrell shows up, let me know, because I'm going to get his autograph. He's pretty famous. You've heard of him, right?
Who?
Will Ferrell.
Yes, I know.
Okay, one more thing. Last thing, and then we'll be done.
Name some of Will Ferrell's movies.
Last thing, you know who James Lipton is, right? He's the crazy guy that Will Ferrell made fun of. He's passed away recently. So you want to say, if you talk about...
who passed away?
James Lipton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you talk about him, say, rest in peace.
Okay.
Because he's still funny even though he's dead.
Okay.
But he's the one that was like, you know, at the inside the actor studio, he's like, what is your favorite word, Linda? You know, and everyone just kind of looks. He's got big eyes like that.
Okay, what's his favorite word?
I don't know. He's been interviewed though.
Okay.
I have to look it up. Anyway, just remember this one more last thing. I don't remember Cooper's favorite word, but a lot of them have favorite words. Okay. You don't have to know all of it.
What's your favorite word, real quick?
I think it's hold.
Hold.
Right, hold. Okay, like hold the mayo. All right, we're good. Anyway.
Awesome.
That was our little bit. It went on for about 10 minutes. Bernard Pivot or something like that. Some kind of French guy. So what is your favorite word? Okay. Just call him Jim Jarmusch. Okay? If we meet him, get his autograph. If we ever get to meet him. Autograph City. And I want it on a copy of Permanent Vacation. Probably that one. The student film one kind of thing. Good night.
Big fan of Harold and Maude, but being there, Peter Sellers' masterpiece, all directed by Hal Ashby. Of course you know it's genius. This is one of the shots in it, right here. Kitty, I've told you before, I do not want you on my desk area.
There you go. Now you get scared. Now go over there where you've got plenty of cat food.
Are you plot down?
Maybe we should call him Chauncey Gardner. As well as Edmund, Tuxedo, Cassavetes, and Marlon Brando. Kitty.
It's too early to be talking. Go to bed.
Kind of reminds me of Annie. And, you know, the whole Annie getting taken in. I've seen the musical Annie, but it's a conglomeration of many different films. But it's one of the best, definitely, being there.